Special TAA 5x56 box press, a chunkster, an oddball size, a 5x56 1964, otherwise known as the Padron 64 Maduro. I don't really smoke the natural 64s. Are they great cigars? Sure, but in my opinion, the 64 is the better cigar. I don't view the Padron 64 Natural Maduro as like equals. I think the Padron 64 Natural, nothing taken away from it, is a phenomenal cigar. But not only do I prefer the Maduro, I actually firmly believe that the Maduro version of the 64 is superior. Now, when you get to the 26, I still believe the 26 Maduro is superior to the 64, to the natural version of the 26, but it's closer. Like, it's not, the 20, I'd rather smoke a 26 Maduro over 26 natural, but the 26 natural is better than the 64 natural. I can't stress this enough. I just think that the natural blends of the Padrones, in my opinion, they don't hit the spot. They, in some ways, they have maybe a little more power, because the Maduro process is an extra fermentation time, everything else. It's a process, but that's my opinion on that. Very chunky. I never smoked this cigar in this size. I know I'm like, oh, it's smaller at best, diameter-wise, like a Diplomatico, which is a longer cigar, but much smaller gauge. So I never had a 64 Maduro in a 56. We're gonna give it a shot. Just bottom line is I want to see is how much weaker does it make it in the 56? Does it make it weaker at all? In my opinion, it probably will make it less intense. Maybe it'll be more sweet though. Let's find out. Oof, here we are. Deep into the first inch, right? It's a Padron, it's a 64, it's a Maduro. But in this chunky size, yeah, it's more limited because this 5x56 is only available in certain shops. As far as stores, it is available online per se. It is a great cigar, but hands down, I prefer my smaller Principes and the smaller size 64s, or even the Diplomatico with the smaller gauge. So I was gonna put it at that, man. It's real simple. I mean, if you want to check this out, go for it. But it loses a lot of the black pepper and the chocolate sweetness note you normally get, which is really beautiful chocolate note in the Maduro 64, is a little more diminished, but there's still a lot of earth. So if you want a lot of dark espresso note and a lot of dark earth with spice, but it's less spice than normal, so it's like a weaker, in my opinion, like watered down 64. I don't think, but my opinion, Padrones always do well with tremendous gauges. That's my opinion on that. I prefer the 64s and all Padrones really in the smaller gauges. Like, this has got to be a Lancero, but like 46, 48, 50, maybe 52. That's my opinion on this. So, not saying don't check it out, but for the same price, I could have got a long Diplomatico. But is what it is. I haven't checked out the size before, so I'm not saying pass on this. But if you're a big Diplomatico fan, or Principe fan, necessarily it's not automatic. You change the size, you change the blend. I mean, it has all the same flavor as those other sizes, but less of the sweetness and less of the black pepper spice, which is really my favorite parts of the Padron 64 Maduro, the world power, and yeah. So we're gonna leave it at that. I'll come back, but I'm not disappointed at all. But I promise you this: I won't be smoking the 64 in fatter sizes. I would stick with the Principe. But if you want a bigger time, the Diplomatico. That's my opinion on that, bro. Down the nub on this thing. And I gotta admit, you change the size, you change the blend. And this TAA version, the 5x56, the Padron loses its complete package. Padron 64 Maduros are known for the raw earth, a lot of black pepper spice, like a dark coffee note and a nice, nice chocolate note. Could be a kind of a dark chocolate note, but still has some nice sweetness from that. But the notes that normally it has is very pronounced and definitive, and it's every time you go back to, you're like, which is what I like about Padron 64. When you go to this 56 size, it loses a lot of the sweetness, and it loses a lot of the black pepper, and it becomes a lot of dark earth and like a dark coffee note. But my opinion, it becomes very simplistic, and it's gonna drop that cigar. Honestly, in this size, I would never buy it again. My opinion on that. The 5x56 TAA 4.4. Well-made, Padron, etc. But who gives a shit, man? It loses its intent, and I can't stress that enough. Just because if it says Padron doesn't mean we'll say, oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, no, I will never buy it again. The 56. I'm glad I tried it because just to put it out there. But if you're a Padron smoker and you like the 64 Maduros or the 26 Maduros, I prefer the Principe or the next step up. I forget the name of that size. Or go to a Diplomatico, but it still at least keeps that dimension. Similar to a long Robusto in the Diplomatico. But this fat gauge in this blend, in my opinion, doesn't work well. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick with that. You can take it to the bank, cash it twice.